Welcome to Life Expressions. I'm your host, Charie Ginete-Ilon. Today, we're going to have a very special conversation with two of my friends, and I consider them my mentors as well. First, let's have my co author for the Entrepreneur's Playbook. This is Mindset Shifts for Success. She is the founder of Next Gen Accounting and the founder of Vision2Reality Foundation. Welcome, Winnie Sue. Hi, Winnie.
Thank you.
I also have with us the CEO and founder of Corporate Sufi Worldwide. He's an international inspirational speaker and best-selling author, our mentor and coach for Ignite Your Spark Masterclass, Azim Jamal. Welcome, Azim.
Thank you, Sherry.
I am excited for today's conversation because we're going to talk about our book, wherein Azim, who is our coach and mentor, wrote the foreword. And he generously wrote about Winnie and myself and the value of this book, The Mindset Shifts for Success. But before we get into the book, I'd like to ask both of you, how did you find your spark? Let's start with Azim, especially that you are the one who is leading us to ignite our spark.
So I think my defining moment happened when I went to work with the refugees in 1997. And I went to a camp where I was escorted into a small tent. And I was interviewing the 11 people about their budgeting as an accountant. And, first of all, there was no place to sit. So I had to sit on the floor. And they gave me a tiny cup of hot tea. And before we started, I took a sip. As I took a sip, I saw a glow in everybody's face. I saw a spark in everybody's face. I said, "What happened? I just took a sip." He made me realize that they were so happy to give me a sip because they had nothing else to give me. And it made me realize you don't have to be rich to give. Rather, you become richer when you give. Anyway, from that interview of 30, 40 minutes, I was so shaken. I was almost physically sick because the kind of stories I heard were life-changing. So I walked out of the hut, and there were small kids standing outside that hut. And they're all looking at me with rosy cheeks, big eyes, smile on their face. And they're watching me, and I'm watching them, and I'm feeling sick. And I'm walking to my cab, and there's an eye connection. And they're telling me, without telling me, "You're going to help us." So I take a cab ride from the camp to the Marriott Hotel, 25 minutes. I was shivering and I was sweating in the hot weather, and I was sobbing like a baby. I come to the hotel, I go in the lobby, my supervisor is there. I wiped off my tears, but he says, "What's wrong?" He could see from my body something is wrong. And he's probing and probing. And I want to go up and cry some more, but I tell him, if I had to die for a cause, I'll die for a cause like this. I went to my bed and I realized I had never found a cause I would die for. So I had a sleepless night. When I woke up in the morning, I could see a fork in the road. If I go left, I continue to be an accountant. If I go right, my life is going to change drastically, initially in a bad way, but long term in a good way. It only took me a second to decide that right is right. And when I made the decision, my spark became alive. I found my calling, my vision, and I was unstoppable since then.
Wow, that's beautiful. Finding that spark. Winnie, how about yourself?
For me, I don't have that defined moment as what Azim, our mentor, said, but I really love his spark concept. Later on, of course, he's going to explain it. But for that concept, since I was young, I always know my life meant something. I should be somebody or have a purpose of life, but don't really know exactly. At the teenager age, just wanted to be a positive impact the world, but that's too big, right? I mean, there's no substitutes for it. But since I came to Canada about 30 some years ago as an international student from China with nothing, no money, didn't know nobody, and also speak very limited English at the time. I was always wanted to be independent. I want to be financially independent, don't depending on anybody to give me charity, or don't depending on anybody try to support me. And so that's probably is the initial spark, which is the drive to be surviving mode, actually. Eventually, I started the next gen accounting, becoming successful, financially successful. And about 4 years ago, I constantly thinking how I can give back to the community, how I can give back to this country called Canada, which is now is my home with my husband, my family, my son. And I feel it's a time for me to give back to this society, to this community, because through Next Gen Accounting, even we serve over 200 small, medium-sized business, but it's still too small. But if I can start a nonprofit and share the mindset, share what lead me or many other entrepreneurs, business owner, becoming financially free with a balanced life, a loving family, and also giving back to the society in a positive way, and probably can help somebody else. That's basically is the way how I think. But Azim chose the way he was a successful CA, successful partners in a and he realized his life could be way bigger and to serve others in the inspirational way through his concept of a spark. So I learned from him, of course, and that spark has been also a guiding light for last few years for my building the nonprofit and also
Yeah.
writing this book with you, Charie. And
Yeah.
that's definitely is inside those. You can see some of the spark showing there. So that's basically my journey.
Yeah. And I would like to believe that Azim is truly an example of living the spark within you and igniting the spark in others. Two of us, shall I say, are living examples of how he has transformed the lives of many people. And I would like to just dwell on the book that we have co authored, The Entrepreneur's Playbook. We talk about mindset shifts. Which one has been the most transformative for you, Winnie?
So I normally based on the five mindset. I think the number one definitely is the why and why you're doing everything every day. You wake up every moment where every day you wake up. What is the purpose you're living, right? So that's the why, always the number one. Why can start very, very small and just wanted to wake up, be healthy, right? To be self-alliance and to helping the family and the why also can be really big to impact the world in a positive way. But that why for every individual is different. And my why is not going to be the same as your why. But I feel it's finding that why or very clearly define your own why is going to truly lead your life. This is also the reason we write this book called The Mindset, because I'm 120% believe the mindset is going to change your life. You change your mindset, change your future. Change your mindset, change your action. Change your mindset, change your result. I truly believe it.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. You mentioned five. Are there four or
Yeah, there's
those
a
are
totally five.
it?
The why is the first. The
Yes,
second is the
yes,
action. Because if you have a why, you have a dream, you have a desire, you have
yes.
whatever goals, but you don't do anything, it's nothing gonna happen, right? So the action is the second mindset I truly adapting, at least the benefit of my life. So the third one is the focus. And because in this world, there's so many different areas you can go, as one of the individual, we can choose any direction to make a positive change. We can choose any direction to make some benefit for our own life. But which one you should choose? I mean, we only have 24 hours. We only have
Yes.
maybe 90 or 100 years to live. So you have to focus on certain areas. So that focus is the number three mindset I feel is benefit me in my life, business life, personal life, and careers and everything. And the number four is to be kindness, to have the kindness, because no matter how great we are, how bad we are, and to be kind to others always lead more positive result than negative result. That's my personal life prove this part. And number five is to be a lifelong learner. Never stop learning, always reading, learning from the people. That's why I'm learning from you, from Azim. And even I'm 62 years old, I still have three mentors, and they're in different areas better than me. And also many other people I meet, and they always have areas I can learn something from. So I believe this five mindset guide. It's more like a guiding my last 30 years in Canada from a poor international student becoming a successful business owner or entrepreneurs today.
I totally love that. And I would like to adapt that five mindsets. So I'd just like to enumerate them: knowing your why, getting that action, focus, kindness, and becoming a lifelong learner. Amazing. That is why you are inspiring many others as well. And they could learn a lot from this book, The Mindset Shifts for Success. Azim, you are inspiring others to move from success to significance. How can entrepreneurs really cultivate that inner shift? And it's not just one day, but day in, day out. How do we do that?
So there are a couple of ways you can do it. One is, everything you do, and I mean everything, you start with ignition. Ignition is a spark, ignition is service. So be of service. If you have a service mentality, then that creates the spark ignition and gets you from success to significance, because success is very personal. It's about me. Significance is personal success, but making others successful. So that's one part. Second is having the purpose, right? What's the purpose of why I'm doing it? So have a bigger purpose, larger than self, because self is ego driven. Purpose is impact driven. And this is where you go from success to significance. And I think those two are the foundation by which your mentality is significance driven and not success driven. With success, you can have some temporary happiness, but with significance, you have permanent happiness because your life matters, right? So instead of focusing on how I achieve more, you focus on how I become more. It's what you're becoming, not what you're achieving. When you're becoming the bigger person, then you are a person of significance and not just success.
Yes, I like that. Winnie, resilience is at the heart of entrepreneurship. No matter how we try, life is not perfect. There's ups and downs, right? And there are setbacks. How do you think we overcome challenges and become resilient?
It's the same as what Azim just shared. You have your why, your purpose of life, and every obstacle is becoming easy to overcome. I'm not saying it's not upsetting or not sad or hard to do in that moment, but because you have a bigger purpose and every things that happen in life is going to be able or at least able ourselves to overcome it. And for me, I always thinking if my goal is big enough or why is big enough, and every single challenges or anything happening is all temporary. I learned one thing from Buddhism concept. Even myself is not a Buddhist, but at least I read so many religion book, and they're talking about the one things in this world is permanent. Is nothing is permanent. And I
Yes.
truly believe this word is nothing is permanent in this world, including your challenges, including all your obstacles, including all the hard times. When I came to Canada, truly it was the hardest time during the first few years because I know nobody didn't really speak English. I have to clean the house. I have to washing dishes. I have to babysitting, packing boxes, and all those ones is super hard. As I already have my bachelor degree, I already worked in corporations in China. I feel I'm pretty good, right? And coming here, I have to put myself to whatever able to survive. That's pretty hard as an individual, especially as a 20-some years old young lady. But those part at the time, always thinking, even at the night, I maybe cry in the closet. Even I couldn't call my mom and to share anything. But every time I was thinking, okay, I'm walking on the Sahara Desert right now. And just next corner, just stepping another step, just walking another 10 steps, maybe I can see an oasis. I can see the water. I can see the grains. And I always believe it. Like I close my eyes, I always visualize that. That's how you're becoming resilient because this is temporary. You can pass it, right? Of course, in business, there's many up and downs. I have a partner quit. I have a long-term alliance and eventually break down. And there's so many different things happening. Or a client's not really happy. My customer not really happy, right? My staff quit. I mean, they've all been through it. But every single thing is temporary. If you know that in your heart, everything is able to overcome.
Yes, I'd like to go back to what you said that you have always visualized that there is something better from where you were, and now look at you. Azim, is there a way where we can stop that limiting belief, because Winnie here did not have that limiting belief, right? She felt like, yes, there's something better. And so here she is now inspiring many other people, talking about her success, and you inspiring us, talking about moving from success to significance.
Well, yeah, I think first of all, to realize when you have no struggle, when you have no obstacles, when you have no hurdles, you're weak. You haven't because faith is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. The more you are tested and tried, you become stronger because you become more creative, more dynamic, more energetic. So if you look at the Spark framework, we had three things in resilience: inverse paranoia mentality. Instead of getting paranoid, you become inverse paranoia. The positive mental attitude, instead of wearing a negative mental attitude hat, you wear a PMA, a positive mental attitude. So everything you tolerate towards positive. What's positive about it, even if it's a small positive, right? And the third, whenever you have a struggle, whenever you have a challenge, whenever you have a failure, you bounce back bigger and stronger because that's the trigger. Now, watch me now. You want to challenge me? Watch me now. So you look for those struggle and challenges and obstacles to make you get more excited, more dynamic, more creative, more innovative. And when you look back in your life, where you are today is a result of all the challenges and struggles and obstacles you overcame. And if you had none of them, you're a complete weakling. Rumi says it beautifully. He says, a wound is a place where light enters. When there's no wound in your life, you haven't been hurt, you haven't been ditched by a boyfriend or girlfriend, or you haven't done anything, you haven't opened the wound to get light and come in. And when you get light come in, you become enlightened. You become having a spark.
Yeah. Winnie, can you share a story where your purpose, your why, helped you get over a struggle and lead you to a breakthrough?
I think it's quite there's several areas you can talk about that why to lead you to breakthrough, because I can say as an entrepreneur in my business, there's a several moments like that. One of the moment is I was working with, because I have a small bookkeeping accounting firm, and we work with several CPA firms. So there's one CPA firm, actually, we worked some joint clients, probably 10, 15 of the joint clients together, and I had a really good relationship for more than like 15 years, probably close to, 16 years relationship. And suddenly this CPA firm's leader, or the manager, was talking about, said, hey, Winnie, I made you rich. I give you all those clients, and you need to pay me 10% of everything you earn from those clients. And I was quite shocked because it was 15 years we were together serving the client in a really positive way, because the client is happy. I built a personal relationship with them. I was struggling. More than 2 weeks. I couldn't sleep. Every day thinking about what I'm supposed to do. I don't want to fail those clients because we're becoming friends with them. I know their kids. I know their dogs. I know their cats. For last 15 years. And I work with them weekly, monthly, right? And also working with this CPA firm for at least every year end. So also have a good relationship. So which one I should, balance, right? It's really hard, but eventually I couldn't resolve the collaborations with that firm to say, okay, can we just put our different on the side and serving our client the best way? And I couldn't make that resolution with the CPA firm. And eventually I have to make the decision to quit all 15 clients. And so I sent the email to all 15 clients that starting 2 months from now, we're not going to serve you, because it's the concept, it's the personal values I couldn't diminish in that moment, because of course there's many going on and I have to ask my lawyers and different things, but just the value system is very different. So I don't want to hurt my client. At the same time, I just say I'm going to give up this amount of money, because many business owners will struggle. We're thinking, okay, money is more important. My profit is more important. But what is your value? What is your core? How you want to serve your clients? What kind of a image you wanted to give to your client for lifelong? And so in my heart at the time, I'm not sure. Which client is going to stay with me? Which client is going to go? I have no idea at the time, but worried about the losing the income for our family, for our staff. But I talked to my company leader as well and share this with them. I said, probably we're going to have a hard time if all the clients are gone, right? They're all long-term clients with us, but just be prepared. But after this email sent out and the 15 clients, 10 of them stayed with us. And they changed a different CPA firm because they feel that the service, the honesty, the way we treat them with integrity. So I truly believe these kind of struggle, I believe every single business owner, even in our personal life, we're going to face. How you're going to use your integrity, your purpose of life, how you're becoming the person you wanted to be to compare with the profit, compare with the actual tangible outcome. So I truly believe that's a turning point in my decision to realize who I am is more important. How I wanted to show up in this world is more important than, profit. And even it was a struggle. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you say to that?
Well, I think the example is, when Winnie came from the place of principle-centeredness, from putting the client first. I think the clients see that, right? When you're authentic, people see that, right? If you try to make things up, people can see through you. So, the CPA was greedy to ask for 10% and lost the whole client, 10 clients, right? In the process. Trying to make a small gain, he lost a big gain. See, business long-term game. It's not a short-term game. It's not a quick fix. We can have quick successes, but to build trust, to build, relationship, to build, partnership, to build a significance is a long-term game. And you have to look at the client's interest in the first place and bring back your service mentality and your purpose mentality.
Yes, that is true. There is beauty when you align with people who have the same values as yourself, right? And there's power in collaboration. How do you see collaboration can magnify purpose and impact? Let's start with you, Winnie.
Collaboration, I can see so much in the Vision2Reality Foundation because since we started, we have nothing. I didn't know how to run a nonprofit. I have no clue. Almost like a startup, just like everybody else is starting a business. But at the time, me and my co-founders, we just wanted to set the example. We're just thinking, okay, if we're going to teach people how to be entrepreneur, how to change mindset, how to start a business, how to be a freelance, how to be a self-employed in Canada, we probably wanted to do something to show them how we're going to do it. So the first mentality of this nonprofit is to collaborate with others and not to becoming the one only I can do it. I'm going to hoarding everything in my hand. Everything we created is belongs to us because our whole mentality is to embrace everyone into the bigger purpose, which is the positive impact in encouraging and promoting entrepreneurial mindset. It's not mean everybody becoming an entrepreneur. Everybody's starting business. If everybody's starting business, this world probably there's many other things nobody will do. So everybody have a different place in this world, but it's the mentality, it's the positive mental attitude, it's the growth mindset. It's finding your own spark in your services, in your purpose, in your resilience, in your attraction. Right, in your knowing to truly make this world more beautiful. So we involved so many other partners around us, including accounting firms, including lawyers, including project management companies, including the chambers of Commerce, Board of Trade, including many immigration newcomer services like ISBC, Success, or universities. So we, including all of them, said what you can offer, what you can do for these people, and then we can borrow your program to help. And then we also offer what we can offer. So I believe the collaboration to make sure everybody offers something for the society will make our world more beautiful and everybody will be more enjoy in this living in this community. And also you enlarge your own purpose and you feel happy for a long term, not short term gain. When we buy a new car or buy new clothes, you feel the short term joyful or happiness, but the long term truly is like Azim constantly talking, which is the first letter of a spark, is a service. When you offer value, when you're adding value to other people, actually give you long-lasting satisfaction
Yeah.
deep in your heart.
Yeah. I would also say contentment, right? You're content when you're able to do that. How about you, Azim?
Yeah, I mean, in collaboration, for example, I wrote my first book called Seven Steps to Lasting Happiness. It took me 10,000 hours. I struggled to put the book in the bookstore. Second book I wrote was a journal for lasting happiness. How do you put the 7 steps into 7 days? So each day you do something for the year. Still struggle. My third book was One Minute Sufi. Still struggle. The fourth book was Corporate Sufi. Still struggle. But my fifth or the sixth book, I can't remember. And the fifth book was Business Balance Beyond. And the sixth one was Power of Giving, or the fifth was Power of Giving. But when I wrote The Power of Giving, I co-authored the book with a fundraiser who was my accounting client at the time. And because we were two of us, we had a strategy where we gave the book away for free on online. And then, 35,000 people downloaded the book. And then we self-published a book and we told them to promote. We beat Harry Potter. We beat Harry Potter on Amazon for a few hours, and Penguin picked it up. I went to 9 languages, won a award called Notitas Gold Award for books that create social change, and we never looked back. We became #1 on Amazon, #1 on Barnes and Noble, and why did it happen? Collaborate. We were two. For the first 4 or 5 books, I was alone. My Seven Steps is a great book. It's even better than many of the other books I've written, but still struggled because I didn't have the muscle to promote it by myself. But when I had another person helping me, we brought different strengths and the synergy. And synergy only happens through differences. If me and Winnie are the same, one of us is redundant. If me and Charie are the same, we only. But if you are different and bring different strengths to the table, 2 + 2 becomes 5, becomes 10, becomes 100, becomes 1,000. So yeah, without collaboration, you can't go far. There's no one-man army.
Yeah, yeah. And then I would like to highlight how Winnie and I collaborated on the book Mindset Shifts for Success. And the book launch was such a beautiful gathering of people who believed in the power of mindset shifts. And I could just hope that many other people would realize that. And we do this by collaborating, the three of us collaborating on this episode right now. We talked about service purpose. And one of my favorite elements in Spark is really attraction. I think that's one of the elements in Spark that has really been the key to changing my life because of the activity impact. I'm no longer in activity trap. I'd like to focus on how entrepreneurs usually get sidetracked with so many activities. They want to do more, but the power of activity and attraction is really becoming more, as you've said, Azim, right? And so please elaborate on that. How could entrepreneurs become more, not just by doing more?
I think this concept of attraction, this episode is an attraction. I never knew Winnie before. I never knew Charie before, but we somehow got together in the Spark Masterclass, and we were able to be where we are today. But it starts with affirmation. First, what do you want? What is your identity going to be? Somebody says Charie or Winnie or Azim. What should they have in their mind of that person? But the identity starts from within you. This is the identity I want to create for who I am. So that's the big, and then you affirm, I am that person. I am that person. I am that person every morning, every night. I've been saying it myself since the time of 1997 when I had the experience with the refugees. I created a formation for myself every night, every morning without fail. For the last 30 years, I've been saying it. My mom used to know it, my dad, my grandma, my kids, everybody knows it. So now I am so confident of the person who I am. Now, once that's my first part is affirmation. And by the way, when you affirm, it has to be with crystal clarity. It has to be with intensity. It has to be, with the length of time. It has to be with feeling that you feel it vibrant.
Yes.
Then you align your activities, your daily plan. You align to that affirmation. If this is the person I want to be, or I'm becoming, or I am, what should my actions be? What do I need to plan my affairs around? It has to be aligned to that. Otherwise, and when those two match, guess what happens? You become a living magnet. You attract people, circumstances, accidents that help you achieve your affirmation. Because you grab, and people who don't belong to you, they disappear. And so when somebody says no, like CPA saying no to me, they disappear because they are not aligned to your identity, to who you are. That's so flight. You sit beside somebody and you attract that person and you talk about something and realize how much that connects to your affirmation. Sometimes the seats change and then you bump up with somebody who is completely a different seat, but it's the right person for you to be with to talk about what you want to become.
Winnie, how do you cultivate that sense of attraction? How do you cultivate that being a living magnet in your daily life?
This is also one thing actually I heard from my another mentor, Peter Lake, 20 some years ago. I think I was reading his book. There's one sentence in which book I don't remember, but one book is saying, many people know this say is not what you know, is who you know. And Peter was adding one line to say, if you know nothing, who wants to know you? Right? So, or that's mean, you have to become yourself first. So I always believe that you have to build yourself, self development, and becoming a person with how to say core belief, and you know so clearly who you are, now how you want to present to this world, building yourself knowledge base, your emotional intelligence, your people skills, everything. And then you know your life purpose and what you wanted to do. So for me, I have two models for my life. I talk to many places, and one is to becoming a person positively influence every single person across my life path. That's one of my one life purpose. And the second is to live a life without regret. So if I wanted to do something, I will find the time and money and resource or whatever to get them done. This is applied to personal life and business life. So basically that too is very clear, defined as a person. So since we started the Vision2Reality Foundation, and I was made a goal, and every week I reach out to 10 organizations or people and only looking for like-minded people and show them who we are, show them what we try to accomplish, what we try to make the impact. Whoever believe it, whoever like it, whoever thinking the same, they will automatically attract to you. And of course, there is probably 90% people will say no or never reply to you. That's okay, because you only wanted to attract the people they truly believe what you believe and truly believe your core values. It's exactly the same as for-profit business. And in Extra Accounting, we're the same. We want to attract the clients. They believe our value. They treasure. They truly grateful for our staff's go extra mile service for their best interest. So I believe the clients see that value. They're willing to pay us. They're willing to working with us, even we make mistake, even we lose some money for them because we late filing their taxes, because we're all humans. But they
Yeah.
give us the leeways, right? Because the reason is they truly believe you. They're attracted to you. And I found that so vividly in last 3 years when I was reaching out people. I met people all over the world. They support the same cause and the same things. I would never in my life will meet them. Same like Azim and you. I would never get a chance to meet both of you in my life and to learn from you without the attraction. And
Yeah.
I 100% believe this.
Yes. So you've mentioned Peter Legg, who's also my mentor. In fact, I wrote a book about him in honor of him and the learnings that I've had from him, Mornings with Peter. And I would also like to highlight, because this quote that you always shares is, shall I say, relevant and really aligned to what we're talking about now, which is attraction. Peter always used to say, you become what you think about most of the time. And I
Yeah.
truly agree with that. You become what you think about most of the time. And the purpose that Azim has helped me develop through the Ignite Your Spark Masterclass and the many meetings I've had with him, just like you, Winnie, allowed me to be very clear on what I want to be. And that's becoming a positive impact wherever I am, in all that I do, however I can. And that has not changed. Truly thank Azim for that clarity in my mind, because it's not just about what I'm doing, it's now because of what I am becoming. Right. And it's not just for profit, not just for success, but for significance. Everything is just, shall I say, aligned. And we have briefly talked about resilience Winnie. But I would just like to ask Azim personally. I know you have challenges in the past, very recently, the passing of your beloved wife, but you have shown us you are very resilient. Can you briefly talk about this?
I mean, my wife was a pillar. I mean, she was a pillar. I changed my career from accounting for business, which is accounting for profit, to accounting for impact, or, which is, and she was the pillar who managed the accounting businesses, the CPA businesses, and supported me with my partner, Ken. And, my mom and dad stayed with us. My grandmother stayed with us. So she was, about everything in my life. And it was a big loss, a very big loss. But, I had a choice. Do I look at the loss or do I look at the gain? And what do I mean by gain? She was never mine. She was given to me as we call it amanat, it means in trust by God. And I had it for almost 39 years and she was never mine. So that's the gain. I got something for so many years, which was never mine. And I appreciate that. And in honor of that, I have to take all this she did for me to now use it to make more impact and give the benefit to her because if you allow me, I'll share a small story on this. On 7th December 2024 was our 38th anniversary. So the priest from the mosque came to the hospital and was giving some water in my wife's eyes to ask her to give her forgiveness and whatever. So I requested the priest. I said, "Can I request something?" He said, "What?" I said, "I would like to give my wife every good thing I've done in my life, every good thing, all the benefit to her soul. She has a smooth journey." So he said, "Amin." He accepted it and put the water. It was 7th December. 3 days later, I'm going to the hospital at 9:30 p.m. I drop my son to the car because he was dropping his girlfriend to the airport. As I'm walking, I'm wearing a overcoat and I'm crossing from the 13th Avenue to 12th Avenue. And there's a car coming from here, a L'Oreal SUV. So I was halfway and I knew he's waiting, but I thought, let me run because I don't want him to wait. It's courtesy. So I started to run to the other side. And before I reached the other side, the car hit me and I flew. The SUV, a big, hit me and I flew but I could get up, no issue. I could get up, and the car stopped. The car behind stopped. I said, "Are you okay?" "I'm okay." And I walked away. So I go to the hospital. I tell the nurse. The nurse says, "Hang on, hang on, hang on. Stand up and look this way, that way." And she said, "You're looking okay, but phone ICBC. Otherwise, you never know." So I phone ICBC, and ICBC is asking me, "Who was the driver?" The license. I had nothing. Bottom line is, I had a water bottle with me when I was walking. I went next day to look for the water bottle, and the water bottle was completely crushed. Here's the power of the story. When I look at the water bottle, and I have it here. If I have it, I can show you.
Yeah.
This is the water bottle. So if
My
I hadn't
goodness.
run to cross the road, I would have been crushed like this. Now here is the big thing. It made me realize perhaps I was going to die on 10th December. But God said, "You gave everything to your wife. Now you're zero. You could earn it again." So God saved my life. So by giving my life to her, I got a new life. This is the power, right? This is the power. When you give, you get.
Yes.
And also the
Yeah.
positive
So the
thinking.
sadness happened. I lost a very powerful partner. I'm alone in the house. It's lonely, but I look at the good sides. My kids did a video of her photograph that she's happy. So I watch it every single day. My kids did a speech after she passed away.
Yes.
I recorded the speech. I watch it every day. And that gives me the inspiration and
Yeah.
response. So yeah, the sadness is always going to be there. But how do you take a minus and turn it into a plus?
Yes. That is resilience. I love
Yeah,
that.
that's the
Thank you for
positive
sharing that story.
power. Yeah, also the power of the positive thinking.
Yes, totally agree. Winnie and Azim, both of you, do you have any daily rituals to keep your spark alive? Winnie.
A daily ritual is do meditation and yoga. I mean, that's for keeping your health. Yeah. So basically, every single
Yes.
day, I repeat what my two models or mantra. Yeah. Just be the
Yes.
person, positively influence every single person across my life path, and then to live a life without regret. So in this way, you're grateful for every single moment, every single second, even the fight, even the argument, even the upsetting, you also appreciate it. You're grateful for it because it makes you alive. And all the obstacles in my life, I believe I contribute to, even I don't have a religion belief, but I do contribute that to the heaven, to the universe, because they want to testing me. They give me so many obstacles to pass over. And even from the young time going to labor camp with my parents in China, even been through the flood, been through the earthquake, been through losing the loved one, been through all the obstacles in life when I moved to Canada, been through the friendship, relationship breakdown and business, like a partner breakdown, been through everything. I truly believe I'm so lucky to be to be this one, to go through these, because only these make your muscle strong, just like Azin just talked about. And your muscle is much stronger, your emotional intelligence much more higher, and you can deal with everything in life.
Yes.
That's, I believe, make you truly happy. I don't have stress.
Yes.
Rarely, or I can say rarely have
That's
stress.
good.
Rarely have stress because
Good to
everything has been,
know.
it's
Yeah.
supposed to be.
Yes. And going back to what you've said, one of your mantras that say you want to make a positive influence in another person's life. I commend you for being a positive influence in my life and many other people's lives, especially the members of V2RF and those who look far from afar on how you're doing and how you're impacting other people as well. Azim, how about you? What's your daily ritual? Tell us.
When I wrote the book, The Corporate Sufi, one of the philosophies I talked about is something for the body, something for the mind, something for the soul. And, even if you do something like exercise for the body, or reading for the mind, or learning for the mind, and then meditation for your soul, that 1 hour you can invest in your time, morning, significantly enhance the next 23 hours. You're more dynamic, more energetic, more fulfilled. So it's an investment, it's not an expense. So something for the body, mind, soul in the morning gives you that energy. So that's one part of the ritual. The other part is it's never too late. Like say I have a day which has been bad day. It means nothing has happened. It's 5 p.m. and you feel I've wasted a very important day of my life. But then you say it's not too late. It's 5 p.m. If you're going to sleep at 9 p.m., you still have 4 hours. And you start doing things, you know what? In 4 hours you do 4 days work because you are not looking at what's gone. You're looking at what's left. So the habit of how do you turn things around? This morning I was meditating from 4 to 5 a.m. in my sofa. I kept the cup of tea beside me. Okay. So I meditated and I fell asleep after my meditation. So it was 6:49 a.m. when I woke up. Okay. And our interview was 8 a.m. So I woke up and my cup of tea was there and I hadn't finished it. So I tried to organize something and the whole tea fell down and it messed up my sofa, and I said, okay, I'm running late. I got to get up and but you know what? I said, okay, what's the best thing here? I had an old towel somewhere sitting. I took that and wiped out everything nicely. Still had my breakfast. Still had I could shave a little bit. Get dressed and be here. So it's not a bad thing can happen, but the habit of everything can be good, and everything happens for a reason. By me cleaning up, I had some exercise and I woke up to be ready for the interview. So there's always a plus in everything you do. So having a ritual of body, mind, soul, something every morning to get you start, call it the power of our power, whatever you want to call it, can give you that energy for the rest of the day. My good friend Robin Sharma wrote a book about it, the 5 a.m. Club, about the same concept of getting up and doing something for the body, mind.
Yeah. Yes. The fifth element of spark is knowing. How does this work for you? Your intuition, that part of knowing, and how do you, for the lack of better word, cultivate this knowing? Zero doubt. Winnie.
Yeah, it's also still coming back to what Azim was teaching, or all my mentors was teaching. It's every single person, as an individual human being, we're only things that we're compared with other animals, we're different. The 1% different is because we have a brain, we have thoughts, right? We have how to say, conscious, and probably other animals mainly focusing on surviving, right? I mean, hungry, eat, hunt, and everything. But that's the only things that define where a human being than other millions animals. So this one area define us. We have to thinking about spiritually, like a consciousness. And that's the area I believe more and more people will get there, because we all know that 5 levels. You survive first, right? You eat, you have shelters, food, and then you go up to have more emotionally need, and then eventually you go to the spiritually need. But I truly believe if you developing that spiritual need, doesn't matter you believe a religion or maybe some, cultures, or you just have your own ways to lift you up, and believe that's the part actually giving me more conscious about myself, self-awareness, and knowing exactly who you are. As a third person from outside look, I know exactly who is Winnie. I'm clear my strengths and weakness, and I accepting my weakness, accepting the things that I cannot do, I'm not good at, or I always fail, and accepting everything in life as, you know, just a river going through, and you have a good time, bad time. So that's for me is to really calm your nerve down and calm your daily life. That's the knowing for me, and also every single day I'm reading and always learning from other people how they becoming that self-conscious and how they becoming that using their consciousness and make that becoming a habit. And then you don't have to think about them anymore. You're doing the things you really, really meant to be or meant to do. That's what my next step to work on in my own development for knowing.
How about you, Azim? What would you say to for us to be able to enhance our capability of knowing?
So, we talked about the zero doubt, because a small doubt is too big. So how do you have zero doubt? So now once you have a affirmation, once you have a clarity about your identity, this is the person who I want to become. But because you're saying I am, which is already you become, so you have a knowing, which means everything is happening based on where you are. If you go to a shop here in Vancouver called Donair Dude, they sell donairs. If you look at the rack, there's a Rumi quote on that, on a rack. But the rack, the donairing, it says, live your life as if it's rigged in your favor. It's a Rumi quote, okay?
Beautiful.
If you live your life, it's rigged in your favor. So everything's happening in your favor. And if you believe that, the good, the bad, the indifferent is in your favor. So nothing affects you. So the self doubt is that you already become the person you want to be. So look at people like Wayne Dyer passed away, Stephen Covey passed away. Our mentors, Peter Legg and Brian Tracy are getting older now. They're not at the age of 40 or 50 when they were top of the world, right? So we all have to get older one day and we all have to die one day. Right? So you realize it's never going to be perfect, but the identity that you have is always going to be. Peter Legg, you meet him today. He still has that spirit, that demeanor. Brian Tracy, same thing. I spoke with him in South Africa. 5,000 people attended, still has that drive. In fact, we were in South Africa. We spent 3 days together speaking at a few thousand people. We did a 2-day MBA course for people, 2 full days, teaching people how to be an MBA in 2 days. And somebody in the crowd had gone to MBA Ivy League. He said, I learned more in 2 days than 2 years. And then we're on the flight going from one place to the other, 3-hour flight. And this Brian, who's older, traveled from US, spoken. In the plane is 3 hours, he's writing nonstop and beautiful handwriting in the fountain pen, writing his journal, bam, bam. The only time he rested, he went to the bathroom twice because he had too much coffee. I was tired looking and I'm falling asleep and this guy is just going on. This is world class, right? So age doesn't matter. But bottom line is, you have that belief, the zero doubt that whatever is happening, slow, fast, medium pace, good, bad, indifferent, doesn't matter. It's all leading to who you already become. Because even when you become the greatest, you still are going to have challenges.
Yep.
And so
True.
challenges are part and parcel of life. And when challenges stop, you stop. When challenges stop you stop to grow. So you want to say, no, why me? You say, why not me? Bring it along. I'm ready.
Yeah, that's wonderful. If there's one spark, one belief or mantra or saying or advice that you'd like to leave our listeners today to have that mindset shift, what would that be? Let's start with you, Winnie.
Change your mindset, change your future.
Amazing. Agree with that. You, Azim?
Start now. Now What you can do tomorrow, do it today. What you can do today, do it now. This is a saying in Hindi. Kal hua so aaj hua so ab. What you can do tomorrow, do it today. What you can do it now. Do it now.
Yes.
Just do it.
Do it now. Yes. Do it now. Start your mindset shift today so you change your future. I love it. Thank you so much, Winnie and Azim, for guesting. This has been a wonderful conversation. I truly hope that we could continue this conversation in the next few episodes and encourage people to have that mindset shift. No, for not just for success, but for significance as
Can I
well.
say something
Thank
about
you
the
once
two of
again.
you?
Of course, yes, please.
Yeah, so I had about more than 60, 65 people from 30 countries attend my masterclass. But the two of you, here you are, you're reading a book together. You're shining and showing your spark. So I want to commend you for being the right student and the right attitude and the right mindset to be able to do what you did. And Peter Legg and me both wrote forwards for you in your new book, which I highly recommend people to look at because it's very practical playbook. It's Winnie's experience and Cherie's magic in terms of creating the final outcome. And it's a really good piece of work.
Thank you so much. That's very kind and generous of you to say so, Azim. Thank you. If you like this episode, please don't hesitate to share it with your friends. Please follow Life Expressions on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. Again, I'm your host, Charie Ginete-Ilon, and I've been with Winnie Sue and Azim Jamal. Thank you. Till next time here on Life Expressions.